an Iowa guy, I wanted to be a part of that.
This is the Hometown Hoops Podcast with Drake Men's Basketball and your host, Michael Admire.
Hey, it is the Hometown Hoops Podcast here on the Drake Sports Media Podcast Network. We are powered up by Learfield on this Friday at noon. Every episode of the Hometown Hoops Podcast can be found on the Drake Athletics YouTube and Facebook pages. You can also listen through the free Varsity Network app from Learfield or wherever you get your podcast. Just search for Hometown Hoops Podcast and make sure when you get there, you follow it and you like the episodes and throw 5 stars where you can. And also, the most important thing you can do is share these conversations, because we're trying to get to know this Eric Henderson, the Coach Hendo era players and coaches. And that's exactly what we are doing here this summer. All right. Hey, before we jump into our conversation with today's guest, we got a good one. Want to wish former Bulldog Mitch Mascari the best of luck in the NBA Summer League. Mascari agrees to a Summer League deal with the Phoenix Suns. And the first game is tonight in Las Vegas against the Washington Wizards. Been able to stay in touch with Mitch a little bit as he flew out the day after the 4th. 4th was on a Friday, heads down to Phoenix on a Saturday. He's been out there all week and haven't touched base with him while he's out there. Don't want to bug him, but hey, man, it's awesome that he's out there giving it a shot. And think about this, it was about this time last year when we started hearing about Mitch Mascari. He got pulled out of his finance job in Chicago to come back to college and join his former coach, now turns into be current coach in the middle of June. And Mitch has an incredible season at the D1 level. Now he's getting an opportunity to play a little summer league ball. You never know what happens from there, but I know if anybody's going to take advantage of this kind of new lease on life, this new lease on the basketball career, it's going to be Mitch Mascari. All right. So far this summer, we have talked about and 2 former Drake players. We're also getting to know Coach Hendo and his coaching staff. But finally today, we're mixing in some of the players on the current roster. We're going to do that from here on out, all the way until November. And the guys had a little bit of a break for the 4th of July, back this week and right back to work. And first up, fresh off his 22nd birthday, it is Charlotte transfer Jaehshon Thomas. And Thomas, like the rest of this group, I've gotten to know much like last year, and some of the other teams that have come through Drake because of the good coaches we've had here. They have a high standard for recruiting and recruiting good dudes. And boom. All right. We've got another great class of good guys that are fun to talk to and good basketball players. And we get a really good insight into how close this team already is. And when you hear Jaehshon talk, it's going to fire you up. So you want to listen to it. And without further ado, hey, let's jump in to this conversation with Jaehshon Thomas, who is down to earth and eager to get to work and get to November. All right, today on the Hometown Hoops Podcast, we welcome in Jaehshon Thomas. Spent 2 years at FSW, 1 year at Charlotte, where he averaged 9.5 points. Jaehshon, thanks for your time. First of the new crew, the guys in here.
Yeah.
How's Des Moines life treating you so far?
Des Moines is great. Des Moines is great so far. I definitely had other visions coming from big cities like Chicago and Charlotte, but everything is like great. It's perfect here.
What was your anticipation? What were your kind of preconceived notions about Des Moines, Iowa before you came here on your visit?
Well, I didn't think Des Moines. I just thought Iowa.
Yeah.
And when I think of Iowa, I don't think there's a lot in Iowa coming from, like I said, Charlotte or Chicago, but there's actually a lot here. Great people, definitely a great university in Drake, and Yeah, I just like it out here.
Sweet.
Yeah.
One thing that you'll learn a little bit about me, and I know our Drake fans know this and probably get tired of me talking about it to this extent, but I love Des Moines. I moved from Kansas City 12 years ago, and I've lived here ever since, and I just absolutely love this city. I got some of the prints up and the Des Moines flag and all that stuff. So yeah, I love this city. So I got to know, what are some of have you found a spot yet that you like, your lunch, your dinner spot, anything else that you've done around Des Moines that you've enjoyed in your month here so far? Honestly,
I like the whole area of West Des Moines.
Okay. Yeah.
It gives like suburban, suburban. And I honestly like all the food spots over there. There's a lot. The Jordan Creek Mall, I went to go shop there. Even the downtown area is a lot more people than I thought it would be. And just how like nice the people are. Like, I'm sure you guys like get compliments on how like nice people are in this area. Cause like every time I meet somebody, they're like intrigued with our conversations. It's like, just, they're so nice. And I appreciate that from everybody around here.
Well, and that's saying a lot. Charlotte is in the South, Southern hospitality, all that. But yeah, I mean, they call it Iowa nice.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of truth behind that name.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You've been on Ingersoll a little bit too, which as a Des Moines stan, if you will, I mean, that's a really cool neighborhood that continues to evolve. So I appreciate that out of you.
Yeah, it's nice over there too. Like, I mean, I've been to places like Power Life Hot Yoga just to do some stretching and stuff like that. Homegrown, there's a breakfast spot. I've been over there. Like all those places are on Ingersoll.
Yeah,
and it's super nice, and I can tell it's upcoming.
We got to get you to if you haven't yet, Sakari, Lucky Lotus, a couple of Asians.
I've been to Lucky Lotus too. It's crazy. I'm not lying. I swear I'm not lying. I just ate that last night.
Did you really?
Yes, Lucky Lotus.
Did it change your life?
Yeah, it was good. Honestly, it was great. It was super good. It's crazy that you even mentioned.
It's one of my favorite restaurants. It might be my favorite restaurant. I kind of go in ebbs and flows, but yeah, that's the spot.
Yeah, it was good.
And the great thing is you could go back today and get something completely different, and it's still going to hit. Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for playing along with that with me, man. I really appreciate it. So what brought you to Drake in general? What has pulled you to this new city of Des Moines?
So obviously the transfer portal, through mutual ties, like a coach at FSW where I came from was cool with Coach Gavin, and that's how he got in touch with me. He was the first one to reach out. We had some conversations, and immediately Coach Hendo like reached out. Like, it was that quick. Like, Coach Hendo was on board with me, and then every other coach got on board with me. So each and every member on the staff, they started texting me. They started calling me like daily, and they showed me that love. And I'm like, that's what I was looking for in the transfer process. Just a coaching staff that is very supportive and actually cares. Because, I mean, in these days today, you don't find that in a staff. And this staff is very special in that aspect, in their connectivity and their ability to like just care for the players that they recruit. And so I was drawn to that. Then I took a visit, obviously, because I didn't know what was in Des Moines. I never been to Iowa until now. I loved it out here. I loved what they showed me. And then I loved like everything they were talking about, and then everything they were looking for in players. And then lastly, their vision with me. So that's what brought me out here.
It's cool hearing you talk about your recruiting experience with the staff, because we've heard them talk about how, there's really not a recruiting coordinator. They recruit as an entire staff. And it sounds like, Gavin might have been the first to make contact. But then after that, it was a team effort. And that meant something to you.
Yes, that meant a lot to me. And I appreciate Coach Hendo for that.
And you get here to Des Moines, and maybe tell me your first interaction with Hendo outside of being on the phone, because he is a guy that brings it for a first impression.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great phrase to use, because when I first seen him, it was a hug. Like it wasn't a handshake. It was a big hug, like very enthusiastic. And that catches your attention. Like when you meet people like that, you just naturally draw to them. And I was just like, man, I gotta see what he's about. And man, he's a great dude. I commend him. I shout out Coach Hendo for sure.
How has, that kind of first impression of, the hug, which, first time I met him, I got a big hug. And I love that. I love that about him. I know some people may not, but I absolutely love, I love that. But I'm curious, how has that, the guy that is hugging you and the first time you guys meet, to then getting into practice where you guys got to get some work done this summer, how have you seen him strike that balance?
Oh yeah, it's a perfect balance because from those hugs and from those conversations that he has your back. And then when he gets on you about something or complimenting you, it's coming out of love, no place else. So it's a confidence booster. Like any player would want to play for a coach like that shows you love on and off the court, no matter what. And it just means a lot from him.
I love hearing that. We're going to talk more about this Drake team, how the roster has come together, and how you guys as players have gotten close here in the first few weeks. But I do want to go back in kind of your basketball journey, a little bit of your life journey. You grew up in the suburbs of Chicago. What was life like for young Jaehshon?
Yeah. So in high school, obviously, I grew up in Aurora, went to Aurora Christian for my first 2 years. Had a great breakout sophomore year, like killed it. Ended up transferring to Whitney Young for my junior year, which is a Chicago powerhouse high school. Went to Whitney Young, had a great season. Unfortunately, COVID cut it short, so we didn't have a state tournament, nor did I have a senior season. So my recruitment process was hard, just simply off of that, because you get most of your college looks and offers in your junior or senior year. And also your 17U AAU year, I didn't have that either. So it was hard to get recruited, but I remember my FSW coach had recruited me my junior year, or he was just looking at me. He had sent me a text one time, but we didn't end up going through with it. But after my senior year was up, I basically reclassed and went to Aspire Academy. I was young for my grade, so I went ahead and did that, went there. Still played games, no fans, really not any recruiting going on. So I ended up going to FSW I knew him from when he texted me back in my junior year. So I reached out to him and we clicked right away. Had a good 2 years at FSW. Coach Eric Murphy, he's still one of my favorite coaches to this day. And he showed a lot of belief in me and trusted me to run his program. And my sophomore year at FSW, I really broke out again. We didn't end up going far in the tournament, but had a great season, great group of guys. We had 8 or 9 of our top players go Division I out of FSW. Then I ended up going to Charlotte last season. Had a great season with Coach Aaron Fern there. Really learned a lot there. Like I learned a lot how to play at this level. Just him being a pro coach and teaching me things like that. Just having the experience at my first Division I last year. Coming to this year, I feel like very confident in what I'm going to do and then what this team is going to do. So that's where I came from.
That's cool. It's neat you can hear your basketball journey and the moves and how things broke to get you here to Des Moines. What about like the other stuff? The family life, when did basketball come into your life? All that stuff in Chicago.
Yeah, I've been playing basketball since I was little. I really started taking it serious in high school, but started playing around like 4th grade. Still got some friends from my 4th grade team, my best friends still to this day, but grew up from there. playing basketball. I really don't do a lot outside of basketball now. I play the game here and there, talk to my friends a lot, hang out with my friends a lot. But I'm a Christian, so I have a Christian podcast. I'm very invested in that. And yeah, that's mainly what I do outside of basketball, is just invest my time into that.
Well, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
What is the podcast name? If you care to share it with the Drake fans, I mean, you might double your subscribers here, or something like that.
Yeah, it's called The Journey Channel on YouTube. Just talk about Christian stuff, Bible studies, things like that. Just lessons that I learned from reading, and then lessons I learned through experiences over the past couple of years. And yeah, it's a great podcast. Yeah,
that's fun, and I can tell you got just like a natural flow to it. You hear on the microphone, so
yeah,
I can tell you got a little bit of that background going.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Okay, so obviously Drake fans know a lot about FSW, Florida Southwestern, where you played your JUCO basketball. That's where Marty Richter started the program, and he was a part of many of the great Drake teams here under head coach Darren DeVries, the Murphy twins, which no relation to Eric Murphy, but the Murphy twins, DJ Wilkins, Tank Hemphill. The list kind of goes on there with a lot of players that have that tie. And now you're kind of the next FSW to Drake tie, although you did not play for Coach Marty.
Yeah.
But you make that jump your freshman to sophomore year, 4 points per game. Your freshman year, 16 points per game. Your sophomore year, what was it?
Well, first, before I answer that question, Coach Marty did recruit me my freshman year. So I actually know Coach Marty well.
That's great.
Yeah, he recruited me too.
That's great.
So your
freshman year in high school?
No, freshman year at FSW.
Okay.
Yeah.
To come here. So had that foundation had already been kind of laid.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was with Coach Marty, not Hendo.
Yeah.
But it's crazy how things work, though.
That is interesting.
But as far as the jump that I made from 4 to 16 points, I guess that summer going into sophomore year was just it was like a mission year for me. Like I underwent a lot of experiences going from high school to my freshman year at FSW, even in between when I went to Spire Academy. Like, it was just so many experiences. Like, I had a good feel of where I wanted my game to go. And my work ethic that year was just like, I was on a mission, and I worked on specific things. I feel like that's one thing that players don't do during their summers, is work on specific things rather than working on broader things. And I narrowed down what I wanted to like specialize in as a guard, and I was able to make that jump because I knew how I wanted to play and what I wanted to do. And it ended up paying off. And especially, I made that jump from being just a player to a leader. And I feel like that's my best attribute to this day, is being a leader. And that's what I feel like I am for this team also this year. But my leadership grew. And then around that time is when I gave my life to Christ. And so it just made my just overall headspace, overall being better. Because before that, I was just on a roller coaster of emotions going with basketball, obviously, because I didn't get recruited like that. And then I was just trying to figure out what I wanted to do. But after that moment, like, my work ethic was like taking care of everything else. And then I got to just follow God from there. And so those are the things that kind of helped me make that jump and would have made me to the player that I am now. And it's funny enough that same summer, I feel like I'm having that summer right now. This is like a mission year for me.
I was about to ask you about that.
Yes.
Because that's the sense that I get from hearing some other conversations and then hearing you talk right now. You're kind of in that same mindset.
Oh, yeah. 100%, 110%. Like, this is a missing year for me. I feel like this is the biggest summer that I'm having thus far in my basketball career. And I can't wait for Drake fans to see that. I can't wait for the coaches to see that, the team to see that. Like, I'm going to be that player for Drake basketball. And I just can't wait to experience it with everybody.
What is it that is sparking this mission mindset?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I couldn't even pinpoint one thing, but probably because my basketball career is ending soon. I mean, I could have another year because of the JUCO rule. I went JUCO, so I could have another year potentially after this. But probably because of that, I feel like that end goal, or not end goal, but like the thing that I've dreamed about being as a kid, a professional basketball player, is like a realistic thing for me. So like those things, and then the team that I'm playing for, like getting to know and bond with the guys that I'm around, like I know we can do something special. Like I don't even say that just because like we're bonding so quick and I see so much talent with this team. Like I'm hyped for this year. And so I just see a lot of good coming.
You have such a calm demeanor about you, but I'm ready to run through a brick wall. This has me fired up because I've seen some of it, but hearing it, directly from a player for the first time is exciting to hear.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I can't wait. Seriously. I cannot wait.
All right. I want to get back into the Drake stuff in just a second, but I do want to hear about the stop at Charlotte. For most of the season, you're shooting 40+% from 3-point range. See some of those points you were talking about that you really wanted to develop at. I mean, 55% shooter at the rim. Your game developed, but I know you felt like there was still more out there for you. So just in general, what was your biggest takeaway in your season with the Niners?
Yeah. So I learned how to play an overseas professional style of basketball because we ran the Princeton offense over there. So it's a lot of like cuts, a lot of split actions, a lot of things like that, a lot of going through the whole shot clock. So you kind of learn how to play an overseas style of basketball. And I feel like some people wouldn't like that, but for me, I feel like I learned a lot from it, like how to actually play the game. And obviously it takes away some parts of your game. And it did for me, but it taught me how to play. And I can honestly say that I've got better from that style over there. Like you said, I was averaging like above 40% from three. I got a lot of open looks and a lot of good shots from that offense. I got to work on my three-pointer a lot while being there. I mean, it kind of declined at the end of the year, like you said, because I had caught the flu twice. So like back to back. Then that was during our conference tournament and like the last games of conference. So I kind of got out of the rhythm. Well, I definitely got out of the rhythm.
And those are things fans usually don't see or know. If you go back and look at your stats, it doesn't say Jaehshon had the flu for 3 straight weeks or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And you definitely don't see that, but it's okay. I mean, like I said, I learned a lot from being over there, especially under that coaching staff too.
That's cool. One of the stats that popped out to me, it was nice to see the numbers from outside, but then you are aggressive at getting to the rim. I did notice, though, that one time you took former Bulldog Atten Wright to the rim. So we know about his defense. So I don't know if that really counts or anything like that. I was just curious. You guys actually kind of remind me a little bit of each other, how you guys play offensively. How was it mixing up with our old buddy Atten?
Oh, yeah. That was a movie. I hate even talking about that game because he went off.
Okay.
He had like 42 points that when he played.
That was that game. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, he went off. He could not miss. The whole gym was electric because it was at North Texas
Yeah.
place also. Whole gym was electric. That was a game to remember for sure. Man, he went nuts. Yeah. So kudos to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't mean to bring up any bad memories, but Atten has a tendency to go off in games like that. So no, that's great to hear. No, I saw you had a little bit of payback throughout that game where you were getting a little bit of yours with him. He obviously wasn't playing much defense. He was just working on the offensive end.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Another thing that really stood out to me about your time at Charlotte, which I feel like we've talked about Jaehshon as the player and the X's and O's, but showing a little bit of you as, the teammate that you are late in the season because of a few things happening, the sickness, but then also the team struggling a little bit. You guys are trying to find a way to shake things up. You go to the bench and you accept that role with arms wide open. You're all about it because you felt like that was what was best for the team. That's what the coaches believe was best for the team. How were you able to kind of take that in stride, moving from starting PG, PG1 to the coaches wanting to be a spark scoring off the bench?
So earlier I talked about how, like, before I gave my life to God, I was living on a roller coaster of emotions, right? But after, I feel like I've been here. And so through any given situation, I'm always going to be here. Anybody could look at that situation. Any player could look at that situation and get mad at it. But, like, you got to realize, one, it was what the coaches felt was best for the team. And two, what are you going to do with the opportunity? And that's kind of how I looked at it. Coming off the bench was an opportunity for me to be a scoring spark. And I took full advantage of it. I mean, the next, 3 games, I scored 20 or more coming off the bench. So it really didn't bother me. Starting spot is just people start the game at the end of the day. But, what are you going to do when you get on the floor? That's ultimately what matters. So, yeah, it wasn't a problem at all. Yeah.
Well, I think Drake fans are already getting a sense of the player in person that they're going to see on the floor come November, which is really exciting. Let's talk June, though. June into July. Now that we've flipped the calendar, what has it been like around practice? You have teased out a little bit about this group. How have you all been able to connect so quickly? Because these are players that are coming from all over, a new coaching staff. There's a lot of newness to this group.
I think we bond together so quickly because of what we see. And like I said before, the coaching staff is so connected. I don't think we had a choice but to be connected too. So we just fed off each other in that aspect. And then obviously when you gel that quick, it transfers over to the court even better. But yeah, practices are fast. They're very fast paced. That's how Coach Hendo wants to play. Getting in great shape. I'll tell you that. We're getting in shape. Very competitive. We have some competitors on the team, including a returner in Andrew Alia. Man, he told us yesterday he's an embodiment of blue collar. 100%.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to describe this to the fans, but in the middle of such a great conversation, the fire alarm it goes off here, a little fire alarm testing. So my bad. I'm not entirely sure where we left off, but I think it was a little bit along the lines of talking about Andrew Alia embodies the mindset of blue collar. He's one of those guys that has been around Drake for a little bit. How have you guys learned from him?
Like I just said, he's that. He told us that's who he is, and we see it. Like players like him who just work hard, go after 50-50 balls, gets the rebound when nobody really wants to. Like he's that player, and that's the type of players we have on this team that can go do that. Or when we have big time players that can go make a play and create for others or get a bucket when we need one. Like all across the board, we are evenly spread of talent. So
Yeah, I think those are the kind of players, and that's the kind of mindset you need to win in a league like the Missouri Valley Conference. Drake has had 3 consecutive players of the year in the Missouri Valley Conference. So obviously there's been some talent on the roster, but it has been those moments in games where they've been ugly, or, a tight game against Belmont in St. Louis in the semifinals. And it is an offensive rebound or a good box out that leads to another teammate rebounding a basketball that allows for, a one and done possession.
Right.
You can kind of go on and on about that, but yeah, that feels like that's I like that Andrew's in there kind of putting that stuff in your ear in the middle of summertime.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of continuing on with some of the guard play. I love this guard. I love this guard room. I heard you had played with Jalen Quinn before.
Yep.
What's that connection?
So we played a tournament in AAU before together with Illinois Wolves. That's the program that he grew up playing in.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of success there. But yeah, it was crazy how things just connected like that, because like I said, we played in a tournament together. I roomed with him in that same tournament. We kind of didn't know each other like that, but when he heard I was coming here and he was recruited by Coach Hendo, he reached out again, and we were just conversing about what we can have here and how we can feed off each other and play together and things like that. And he's nice, man. He's a great guard. He can get to the paint whenever, creates for others, second nature for him. Very, very, very good on defense and can make a play at will. Get downhill, get to the basket, can shoot. Like I said, he's a great player.
Yeah, I've enjoyed really watching him play because, he really knows how to use his body when he gets into the paint with the physicality and good on the defensive end. And I think you mix that with, your speed and your ability to create as well. Both of you guys are quick players. How have you seen just some of that, 1-2 kind of playing around? We haven't talked about Owen Larson yet because he hasn't gotten on the court yet.
Right. But obviously in practices when we play against each other, we're not on the same team most of the time, just to have that competitive nature in practice. But we have been a couple of times, and when we are on the same team, you can tell there's already chemistry between us. And it's gonna be scary because 2 quick guards that can play at the same time, it's hard to guard. 2 quick guards that can facilitate for a whole bunch of shooters and a big man that's dominant. It's scary, what we can be, and we're both excited for it.
Cool. What do you envision your role this year being?
Obviously, being a leader for this team, trying to uplift this team and help and care for this team as much as possible. On the basketball side, just be a scorer, be a playmaker. At any given moment in a game, I should be able to go make a play, and just encourage everybody else on the team to, play their best, and kind of how Kobe was doing with his teammates. He would always bring the best out of everybody. That's what I want to do, bring the best out of everybody, because when everybody's at their best, we're rolling, and that's what we want this year.
You said earlier that a couple of summers ago you were on a mission and you were really working on a few things, specific things, not big picture things, but specific things. You then said, this feels like one of those summers again. What are some of the specifics you're working on over the next couple of months to get you ready for the fall and into basketball season?
Yeah. So definitely one is being a leader. You think you can't work on that, that's a natural thing, but you can. And throughout our practices, I work on my leadership by always talking and being the one communicating the most. and just trying to get everybody together. Like, you can work on those things. So that would be one. Two is just sharpening my 3-point shot. Obviously, there's different ways to create and get to a 3-point shot. Last year, I had a lot of catch and shoot and off of a handoff 3-point shots. I'm working on off the dribble 3-point shots and off of ball screens too. And then being able to get in the paint at will. It's a skill to be able to play off of angles and how you get to your spots and get to the rim. And I mean, that makes you be able to make and like get people open, but also draw fouls when you get into the paint and being able to play off 2 feet. So just playing off angles to get into the paint and do those things.
I like it. All right. Kind of final thing here for you. What's it going to take over the next couple months to be ready come November 3rd when you all open the season? Got a long way to go, but what do you want to see out of the team and maybe even yourself, which you've addressed a little bit here?
I feel like not looking far ahead, for one. I feel like taking it one day at a time, not letting the days and the time pass you by. I think we'll get to our goals just by doing that. Every practice matters, every rep matters, every drill matters. And if we're going hard and competing against each other, doing the best we can in every drill, every rep, every practice, then there's no way we can't reach a level that we want to get to. So, like I said, not looking ahead to a November 3rd or not looking ahead to preseason or whatever we may have, but taking it one day at a time. Like all these like the practice we got today, it matters. The practice, learning from yesterday's practice, watching film on that matters. But everybody getting on the same page with that, like knowing that we're not going to get it all at once, but like if we keep stacking days, we'll get there.
I think that's a perfect way to wrap this up, man. Yeah. It's been great getting to know you. Thanks for rolling through our fire alarm. It came out of nowhere. Excited to watch you wear the blue and white this winter. And I got to check out this podcast too.
For sure.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, man.
Listen to it. All right. Thanks for your time, Jaehshon.
Yes, sir.